of June, there's some special days in the month, especially for me. June 13th is the feast of St. Anthony. Now, if you know Deacon Tony, I'm named Anthony is my patron saint. It was also my grandfather's name, Antonio, when he came over from Italy many years ago. But June 13th happened to be my other grandfather's birthday. And then always a couple of days later, we would celebrate Father's Day. So those days are very special to me, and Father's Day should be a day that should be special to all of us, that we should remember our dads, if they're here with us, at home with us, still hanging around, or if they've been called home to the Lord. But it's a day to give thanks for fathers in our life and how they've tried to nurture us and tried to teach us and try to be there with us. I have to tell this funny story that I always like to tell. My dad was a typical World War II guy. He was in the Philippines during the World War II. And he came home. I was born a couple of years after he came home, and my dad was one of these guys that, they went to church every once in a while. Well, Smarty Tony goes in to starts kindergarten, and my mom takes me to Mass every Sunday. We go down the block. We used to walk to church, Mother Cabrini Church on the west side of Chicago. My father would always stay home and wash the car, especially during the summer months. And I said to my mom one day, I says, "Mom, how come we go to church every Sunday and Daddy stays home and washes the car?" From that day on, my father went to church every Sunday, became very involved and very active in the church that we lived in, and when we moved to the suburbs, became very involved again. He was involved in Knights of Columbus, St. Vincent de Paul, and it kind of showed me the way. I think I became a deacon, a lot of reasons, because of what I saw my father do. So this week, let us say a special prayer this coming Sunday for our fathers, for the gift of our fathers in our lives, and ask the Lord to bless them, keep them safe, keep them healthy during these times, but most of all for our dads to be an example for us to look to be with us in our times of need. Our gospel story today, a little different. Jesus is trying to get his disciples motivated. He's trying to tell them to get out into the world, to bring the good news of Jesus Christ out into the world. And there's that favorite saying, one of my favorite sayings, when Jesus goes on to tell them, "Be not afraid. Be not afraid." And that's what we need to remember as we go out into the world, to be not afraid, to bring our Christian virtues, our Christian values out into the world. And the world so desperately needs to see our Christian values in each and every one of us by how we lead our lives. The world, and it's particularly in this country, the world needs for us to show them the way. If we're believers in Jesus Christ, if we're going to follow the gospel, we need to step forward. Be not afraid to say, this is what Jesus would do. How would we do it? How do we do it? How do we lead lives during this very difficult time when it is so easy to become angry with someone or somebody or some group or this group or that group? But how do we show the way and to remember the things that Jesus taught us and the two great commandments that he gave us? But he tells us today, be not afraid to go out into the world to proclaim the good news of Jesus Christ and to remember he will be with us always. Our world needs us today to show the way, to lead the way, to do good. We have the power, if we want, to make this world better. And that's what we must do during these troubled times. Show them the way. Bring the Gospels with you as you lead your daily lives. And be not afraid, because Jesus said he would be with you always. May Almighty God send his blessings upon all of us today as we go out and proclaim the good news.